Well, just about ready to get things going here at Southern Oregon Speedway for the second and final night of the Legends of Dirt Modified Shootout. $10,000 to win for the Freedom Performance IMC Modifieds. This is Ben Deathridge. Of course, Jason Allen, the voice of Southern Oregon Speedway. Last night, we had a lot of racing. A lot of good racing, too, Jason. And that, I think, is going to set the precedent for tonight. And we're going to build off of it. We're going to see a lot of desperation in these lower mains for the modifieds. Obviously, late models are back, and the Iron Giant street stocks are back, too. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to a couple of fans on the way in tonight. Matter of fact, I was down hanging banners earlier tonight, and one of them made a point to stop on his way up, and he said, man, I just wanted to... First of all, he asked, are you involved in this place? I told him yes, and then he said, well, I want to start by saying, tremendous job that you guys have done with the facility. Sounds like I missed an awesome night of racing. And I said, man, you missed a good one. Then I walked in the gate, and two people stopped me and said, man, I cannot believe how excellent the racing was last night.
Yeah, so with the four quote-unquote main events we had, late models, they had some stuff happen, but it was great racing. We'll just say that. They had a couple of cautions. But then after that, street stocks went green to checker. The first qualifier for the modifieds, they had an opening lap incident. Then it went 25 laps nonstop. Second qualifier, 25 laps nonstop. And just seeing the battles for seventh to get that final lock-in spot into tonight's feature, that's a whole boatload of work that I think guys, when they rolled in the pits that finished seventh or better, was like, oh man, this is good. This is a good feeling. This is a good thing, where they don't have to fret about the B main, don't have to fall back on anything to try and qualify tonight. They're already in. They've got so much hard work done.
And for the rest of the guys, obviously they have their work cut out for them because it's alphabet soup, like we talked about last night, starting with that D main. And I actually talked to one of the drivers who's starting in the D main tonight. He had some mechanical issues last night. They finally figured it out. After last night, he told me, he's like, I was ready to just give the car back because I was having so much trouble with it. It turns out there was a mechanical issue that was locking up his front brakes, and he put it in the wall a couple of times. He said that issue has been rectified, and he said, you know, this is going to be difficult to get to the A-main and get to the feature. And he said, you know, with as many hot shoes that are here, it would be very difficult to run from the back to the front in the A-main. But his goal is just to try and pluck guys off and get to that feature and get that $500 to start tonight and see where it goes from there.
So we're just wrapping up packing the track. And then we'll have group qualifying come out. So these are drivers that are going to be a part of the D main for the Freedom Performance IMC Modifieds. We'll have group qualifying for the Iron Giants. Then the I-5 Silver Bullet Late Model Series presented by Knucklebuster Machine and All In Property Investments. We'll have all modifieds except for the top 14 locked in come out in hot lap. Then we'll get all the cars on the racetrack. We'll have opening ceremonies, and then we start off with our heats. Heat races are going to be Iron Giants. Should have at least two. Looked like we got a pretty good pickup of them tonight for their car count. Now for the modifieds, last night they qualified. They ran double sets of heats. It's just D, C, B, and A for them. It's pretty simple. It's you're either in the show or you're trying to get in the show.
Yeah, that's right. And what's really cool about this race, we've managed to put together quite a few contingency prizes. I believe 38 in all. And there's so many great awards going out tonight. Superior fuel cells. They're giving out a fuel cell for the hard charger, $100 for the Bubble Boy bonus tonight. You've also got a new set of headers from Schoenfeld for the A-Main second place finisher, which is not bad at all because you take home a nice pocket full of cash along with those headers. Also, we've got tool kits that we're giving away. We've got a new set of springs for the Tough Luck car tonight. We've actually got a pair of springs for the 6th and 7th place finisher in the A-Main. We've got a Viper MIG welder for the Tough Luck car from Central Welding Supply. We've got a tire from Rap Racing, an annual pass for Speed Union TV. We've got a certificate for the 2026 full body of labor for the first local non-qualifier. And along with Extreme Scaffolding, giving a new tire to the 4th place finisher, along with $100 for the hard charger. You've got Anderson Concrete putting up $200 for the long tow. We had Kraken and Stacken give away 14 meal vouchers, and all those drivers who locked in last night got a meal voucher to go get some breakfast this morning, so that was pretty cool. And then Twisted Motorsports, they're giving out a consulting session for the first non-transfer, fresh shock revalve for the first non-transfer on Bilsteins. You've got the first tore-up DNF, 25% off new shocks. You've got spoilers for the first 2 crate cars that rip the deck off running the top. So some great contingency prizes. Sweet Manufacturing giving out prizes to the second and third long tow with $100 gift certificates. And other great stuff. Even a 55 barrel of methanol going to be given away to one lucky driver, and that could go to any of the modified drivers. I think we're going to let a kid just pull at random and give away that barrel of fuel that's worth a lot of money. So also 11J Motorsports and Automotive giving out a $100 bonus for the best travel story. And I know Joby was working on trying to wrangle some of the best travel stories from some of those guys who traveled. And, of course, all the kids getting Hot Wheels when they come in the gate tonight for the first 75, thanks to Shadows of Light Photography. So much stuff going to these drivers, not just a huge purse that we're paying out.
Sure. That's what makes it happen is rewarding folks from coming all sorts of distances. We've got the Central Valley of California, Bay Area represented. We've also got Washington represented pretty well in the field. Of not just like the Vancouver, one of the border cities, but also Tumwater up by the state capitol near Olympia. So super cool. We got Nevada here. And of course, all over the state of Oregon represented. So we talked about the heat races. Iron Giants will have their heat races. Then it'll be a 12-lap D-main for the mods. Top 4 transfer. Late models will come out for their heats. Then the C-main for the modifieds. That's 15 laps. Top 6 move on. Then we'll have the late model B-main come out. Last night I think it was 12 laps. And then for the modifieds, it'll be 20 laps for their B-main with the top 6 moving out. And then there'll be a little bit of a farming session. Iron Giants will have their 25-lap feature. Modifieds of the top 14 from last night, so drivers that finished 7th in each of the qualifiers, they will come out for their hot laps. Then we'll have the time-in challenge. Late model 40-lap A-main, and the 40-lap finale for the Legends of Dirt. It looks like a lot, but boy, kind of like last night. Once we got rolling, we were ramming and jamming through the program.
Yeah, nonstop action except for really one race that had a tremendous amount of cautions. But aside from that, it was a pretty smooth go of things last night for the most part on the track. Drivers did a great job of showing up on time and being ready to go. And it sounds like they're already locked and loaded. And as we look across the way here, we can see the Iron Giant street stocks are lined up in staging to get ready for their qualifying session that we'll get to here in just a couple of minutes as we get qualifying started. Also a great opportunity to thank all of our lap sponsors tonight for the modified Legends of Dirt Shootout. $10,000 to win. Reps for Vets, AG Auto and Repair, AA Electric, Left Coast Underground, Preferred Plumbing, CNC Tires, J-Code of Forestry, along with J&K Swine. Preferred Plumbing buying a couple of laps. Benton Trucking, Allen Properties, actually Allen Family Properties, Left Coast Underground, along with Jonky Heating and Air, Tux Trackside, Gentle Hands, Dirt Rich Racing, Aces Affordable Auto Glass, Pure Siskiyou. Also Rotary Drilling Company, along with Siskiyou Pump, Left Coast Underground, Rap Racing, Gentle Hands again, buying a couple of laps, HR Washco, Delta Transmission, and Delta Driveline. That is family helping us out from Northern California. And Thule Tillers 4x4, along with Lens Chiropractic, Hanson Motorsports, AG Auto and Repair, buying a couple of laps along with CNC Tires. And NorCal Diesel and Auto, Reps for Vets, and Rap Racing. So thanks to all of our lap sponsors that helped out support this race, raising thousands of dollars to help us pay this purse that's going to the modified drivers. I believe somewhere over $30,000 being paid out as the lap sponsors were just on the screen there on the Toyota video board. I want to thank Toyota, our 2025 season sponsor, also the sponsor of Victory Lane, and the 2025 Toyota 4Runner. That's our pace vehicle for the 2025 season. Stop into your local Toyota dealer. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. So it looks like they're going to send the modifieds off the racetrack, and that'll mean qualifying coming up for the Iron Giant Street Stocks to get qualifying started tonight, followed by the late models, and then we'll bring the modifieds back out for a few hot laps. Everyone except the top 14. Their hot lap session will be a little bit later on tonight. $17 Iron Giant Street Stocks checking in to race for you tonight here at Southern Oregon Speedway. 23 late models. the I-5 Silver Bullet Late Model Series, and 51 modifieds, as we have 91 cars. I think we may have lost one or two or three from last night and gained a couple. But a great field of cars here at Southern Oregon Speedway for Legends of Dirt weekend as we roll out some of the Iron Giants into the infield to get ready for qualifying. Jared Simmons out of Cottage Grove going to roll out on the track first in the 20 TH, sponsored by Amco Transmissions of Corvallis and Lebanon, Brown's Machine and Hydraulic, Cottage Bowl, Harvest Valley Specialties, MRB Images, and Dirt Oval TV as he rolls through turn number 4. Last night's winner, the 21 car of Eddie Farnes out of Sandy, sponsored by Mountain View Plumbing, DOA Pro Wrestling, GR Smith Construction, Amazing Embroidery and Screen Printing, along with Pride and Groom Pet Grooming. Again, the 21 is Eddie Farnes. Dustin Wilkinson with a good run last night in the 16W out of Milwaukee, Oregon, sponsored by Landis and Landis Construction, along with Landis Brothers Racing, Pomp Tire Service of Portland, and Short Track Heroes. Again, the 16W is Dustin Wilkinson. Greg McCauley in the 3L car. And the 29M of Mike Landis out of Milwaukee, also sponsored by Landis and Landis Construction, Landis Brothers Racing, and Pomp Tire Service. As we take a look at myracepass.com. Your first lap for Mike Landis in the 29M, 20.451. That's quick time so far, 20.817 for Greg McCauley in the 3L, and Dustin Wilkinson in the 16W, 20.964 on lap number 1. Second lap quicker for Mike Landis in the 29M. Your quick time currently 20.372 on lap number 2. Dustin Wilkinson, second lap quicker, 20.557. And Greg McCauley, 20.665, still sitting in third. It appears as though Eddie Farnes having trouble with his transponder. In the 21 car, last night's winner. His second victory this season at Southern Oregon Speedway in that 21 car. So Mike Landis sits atop the leaderboard in the 29M, 20.057, 20.057 for Mike Landis. And make sure you get your raffle tickets for a chance to win that SSR 125 pit bike from Country ATV and Cycle. $20 a ticket, 6 for $100, thousands of dollars in prizes we're going to give away later tonight. You can take a look at a lot of those items behind the announcer tower. We've got the autographed Bell helmet from Basic Fencing, a DIY alarm system from SOS Alarm valued at $350. Parker McCullum tickets for next Friday up in Ridgefield, Washington at Cascades Amphitheater, thanks to KRRM. Along with the South Medford football discount card, some Strider bikes thanks to Shadows of Light Photography, from some swag from Southern Oregon Speedway, and quite a few other prizes. You can see the prize list posted throughout the Speedway as the 44 of Sam Potter rolls out on the racetrack. Sam from Monmouth, sponsored by Amco of Corvallis and Lebanon, Showtime Graphics, Draeger Performance, and Fletch Fabrication. Ro Lavorne out of Albany in the 404, also sponsored by Amco of Corvallis and Lebanon, Showtime Graphics, Draeger Performance, THC Recreation Station, and Bo Eastman Tools. And Rod McCombs in the 04 out of Albany, Amco of Corvallis and Lebanon. Alongside that race car, haircuts by Tammy at Pizzazz, Showtime Graphics, and Drager Performance. Casey Kilby in the 33K. Out of Lapine, sponsored by Bubba Racing, C&M Custom Auto and Tire, Pyrotech, Wicked Wild Designs, Oregon Towing and Transport, and Sweet Oasis Chocolate Shop. Sam Potter jumps to the top of the leaderboard with a 19.930 in the 44 car. And the first of your Iron Giant Street Stocks to dip down into the 19-second range. Rod McCombs, 20.414 on lap number 1. That puts him third quick currently. Casey Kilby is sixth quick, 20.585 on his first lap. And Jake Campbell in the 19C, 20.921. That's good for seventh. And Ro Laborn sits eighth, 21.721. So quick time currently held by the 44 of Sam Potter, 19.930. As we're almost basically to the halfway point. With Eddie Farnes's transponder now working, we've had 9 cars out so far, just a handful still to go. About 8 cars left to qualify for the Iron Giant Street Stocks. Don Dieter in the 21X. Don out of Lakeview, and you've got the 00 of Sean Kronk from Milala, sponsored by Metro Services LLC, Kelly L. McDonald Trucking, Digital Dump Station, McDonald Industry Supplies, Amco Transmissions, Total Car Care of Lebanon and Corvallis. Again, the 00 is Sean Kronk. Ronnie Spielman out of Lebanon in the 41S, sponsored by Team Amco, Drager Performance, Showtime Graphics, along with Jeremy Hunter with Cornwell Tools. 41S of Ronnie Spielman. .22T TJ Landis, Westland, Oregon. Landis and Landis Construction riding alongside that race car, along with Landis Brothers Racing and Pomp Tire Service of Portland. As Don Dieter jumps to the top of the leaderboard with a 19.756 in the 21X on lap number 1. TJ Landis currently sits 7th in the 22T, 20.541. Had a good lap for Sean Kronk, not quite quick time, but only about 0.3 of a second off of quick time as he turns a 19.762. In the 00 car, Sean Kronk. Quick time, 19.469. Held by the 21X of Don Dieter. As our next group of race cars rolls out onto the racetrack, or I should say off the racetrack, should have one more group still to come here. As the 16 of Shannon Collins makes his way out onto the track. Shannon from Camas Valley, want to say special thanks to his wife and kids. Danny Mendez in the 3 car from Grants Pass, sponsored by Delta Transmission, NIS Racing Products, Roof Tile Customer Specialties, along with Delta Driveline, and KBJ 128 Consulting and Shock Service. Phil Laborn in the 40L out of Corvallis. A lot of these cars sponsored by Amco of Corvallis and Lebanon. All gas at Mac Tools, Draeger Performance, Showtime Graphics, along with Left Coast Motorsports. Again, the 40L is Phil Lavorne. Final group of Iron Giant Street Stocks out on the racetrack and trying to beat the time laid down by the 21X car of Don Dieter, 19.469. And Danny Mendez going to do it. First Iron Giant in the 18s, 18.959 for the 3 car of Danny Mendez. Again, 18.959. Bill Lavorne on lap number 1, 20.054. We'll see if he can best it this time by. And he will. He'll jump into the 3rd slot in the 40L car, 19.621. 19.621 for Phil Lavorne. Shannon Collins in the 16 car currently sits 13th, 20.619. That time was laid down on lap number 1. And a quicker lap on lap number 3 for the 40L of Phil Lavorne, 19.303. That's going to put him second quick. And it will be Danny Mendez in the 3 car with quick time tonight, 18.959, your quick time for the Iron Giant Street Stocks.
All right, should be discount race car parts qualifying coming up for the I-5 Silver Bullet Series presented by Knuckle Busters Machine and All In Property Investments. $100 going to tonight's quick timer, courtesy of Discount Race Car Parts. For the Fast Time Award, track record 13.903 seconds set by Colin Weinbarger, last night's winner. In the 28, that is Ian Whistler out of Otis, Whistler Construction, Otis Market, Meredith Lodging, RK Concrete, Knotworks Construction, Rocket XR1, the Schramm Motorsports W5 of Jesse Williamson, Schramm Brothers Excavating, Coburg Distillery, Custom Powder, Northwest Platinum Trucking, Longhorn Chassis. He is out of Coburg, and the 272, Miles Dubert out of Medford in the Aardvark Construction, Ramsey Realty, Oliver Industrial, Andy Sheet Metal and Fabrication, Longhorn Chassis. 20th last night was Dubert, while Williamson finished 3rd. Ian Whistler was the runner-up last night in main event competition. Times coming in, 15.793, Miles Dubert. Jesse Williamson, 14.570. That's going to be P1 provisionally right now. As the 28 of Ian Whistler, looks like maybe his transponder not picking up. Second lap for Miles Dubert is better, 15.592 seconds, 14.447 for Jesse Williamson. As Miles Dubert, his 3rd lap going to be his best one, 15.550. Second quick as of right now, 14.447. Jesse Williamson, provisionally your Discount Race Car Parts quick qualifier. Last night was the fourth time that this series has been here to Southern Oregon Speedway, and Colin Weinbarger, the only driver to win here twice, winning on July 22nd, 2023, and last night. Bryson James winning here last year to the exact day, August 16th. And McLean Bedoin winning the first ever appearance on June 24th. As last night's winner on the racetrack, he pilots the Jimmy Schramm owned number 22S from Corbett, the Schramm Brothers Excavating, Swan Island Sheet Metal Works, Reed's Automotive, Checker Flag Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coating, Donofrio Skyline Ford, Longhorn Chassis of Colin Weinbarger. Then you've got the 16 of John Dees out of Central Point, Dees Nuts Racing, Gadget Construction, GRT, Bob Dees, and the 66, Dees Nuts Racing, Dick's Towing, 66 car, running a Masters-built chassis. Green flag is out as qualifying beginning for this group. 23 I-5 Silver Bullet Late Model Series entries presented by Knucklebuster Machine and All In Property Investments. Colin Weinbarger, second quick right now, 14.743 seconds. John Dees, his first lap going to be a 15.888. And Bob Dees, his first lap, 16.193. Bob Dees, his first lap, his best of 2. Weinbarger a little bit quicker on the second trip around the Speedway with a 14.634. For the 16 of John Dees, 15.888 on lap 1 is still the best time out of his 2 laps. And third lap is slower for Weinbarger, so second quick right now, 14.634. And John Dees, that last lap, his best one, 15.647. Fourth quick for the 16. And Bob Dees is fifth, 16.193. 3 heat races scheduled in the program, and so it'll be an invert of 4. So that means quick time will start 4th in heat 1, second quick 4th in heat 2, third quick 4th in heat number 3. So 12 is the inversion bubble, and we'll try and keep a close eye on that. 19K Delta Transmissions, GRT chassis, 28K, that's Chester Niss, Delta Transmission, GRT chassis. He is out of Antioch, California. While the 37, J&S Farms, Mesilla Valley Transport, Longhorn chassis out of Bend, Rob Maya. And the 32 of Burke Elkins out of Salem in the Elkins Ironworks, Carson Oil, Donofrio, Skyline Ford, Longhorn chassis. Times will be coming. Times coming in now. Rob Maya, third fastest, 14.853 seconds. Burke Elkins, 15.992. Burke Elkins finishing 18th last night. And fifth was Maya. Maya currently second quick on his second lap. Actually tied for Jesse Williamson for Discount Race Car Parks quick time with 14.44.7. Burke Elkins fourth at the moment with a 14.904. Elkins' third lap is going to be slower. So it's a tie for Discount Race Car Parts quick time. Jesse Williamson, Rob Maya, 14.447 seconds. Both of them on their second lap. Burke Elkins fourth, 14.904. And Chester Niss, seventh quick, 16.080. All right, next group coming out, it'll be the 42, Jean-David Duffier in the CDA Architects entry. Out of Medford, Joey Tanner, who's managed to amass 4 wins this season, tied with Colin Weinbarger for the most wins this year. Darren Koffel, the car owner, the driver out of Troutdale, and the Driving Force Graphics, Knuckle Buster Machine, Eastside Paving, Tube Shark Tube Benders, Rocket XR1 Chassis, and Thomas Hunziker, originally out of Ziegrieb in Switzerland, now living in Bend, A1 Roofing, International Trucks, SRS Distribution, Certainteed Roofing, TW Performance, NRC Oil Pumps, Rocket XR1 Chassis. Joey Tanner goes to the top of the board, 14.315, 14315. That is quickest in Discount Race Car Parts qualifying. Tomas Hunziker, 16.245 seconds is 11. Jean-David Duffier is 6th with a 15.218. Tanner is better on lap 2, 14.253. We'll see if anybody else can pick up the pace. Duffier does better, goes up to 5th quick, 14.753, while Hunziker's second lap is slower. Third lap for Joey Tanner is slower, so lap 2 going to be his official time. As Duffier and Hunziker, no changes there. So Joey Tanner at the top of Discount Race Car Parts qualifying. Jesse Williamson second, Rob Maya, Colin Weinbarger, Jean-David Duffier. Duffier with a 14.753, 14.253 Joey Tanner. Tomas Hunziker 11th quick in the 38 with a 16.245. Hunziker did not make the show last night. Joey Tanner led some laps last night in the 46 entry. Trying to bounce back in a big way this evening. Was credited with 7th. And Jean-David Duffier placed in position number 19, it looks like. All right, cars on the racetrack. Corey Yak out of Lebanon in the 71. That's the A&A Speed and Performance, Icebox Performance, New Flow Plumbing, GB Trees, Side Oiler Transport, Cascade Outdoor Power Equipment, Showtime Graphics and Apparel, Swartz Chassis. Also joined by the 77, Preston Luckman out of Coos Bay. Luckman fourth quick, 14.501 on lap 1 in the Three Rivers Casino, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Far West Point S Tire Factory, Pro Power Racing, L&L Lumber Outlet, Quidel Industries, Rocket Chassis. Also the 9 of Rob Campos on the track. Campos currently 8th quick. And now count him 6th fastest on his second lap with a 14.743. Corey Yak is currently 9th as Luckman's third lap going to be his best of 3, 14.463. Rob Campos 6th quick, his best lap on lap 3, 14.662. The J&S Farms, Stone Motorsports, Virgil Hansen Automotive Machine, Donut Queen, Driving Force Graphics, Brashears Trucking, JK Pickle Trucking, Swartz. Talking about Campos and Yak winding up 9th with a 15.532 from lap 2. 12th in the feature last night, Rob Campos. While Corey Yak, the 71, finished 14th. And Preston Luckman, who had problems while leading out in front, wound up 11th in last night's feature. The Thompson Quality Construction, number 70X out of Tigard, finished 10th last night. Also Driving Force Graphics, running a Rocket Chassis. Mark Thompson, 77. Schramm Motorsports Field and Entry. Schramm Brothers Excavation. Northwest Platinum Trucking. Anvil Auto and Off-Road. Crafted on Wheels. Showtime Graphics and Apparel. James Gang Pizza. Discount Race Car Parts. Longhorn Chassis. Out of Battleground, Washington, Dalton Bloom, who placed 4th in the 74 from Pescadero, California. Souza Trucking, Souza Truck and Auto Repair, MBH Race Cars, entry of Dennis Souza. Dennis Souza, 16th in last night's main event. Now keep in mind, on the bubble right now is John Dees. John Dees is on the bubble. He would start on the pole of heat race number 3 right now. So he's hoping that everybody else that's going to qualify is going to be 13th on down. 13th on back will start no better than 5th as Dennis Souza problems. So yellow is out. Souza in the 74 getting out of sorts. Dalton Bloom being shown 9th quick in the with a 14.908 in the 77. That would be fastest driver in this group. Mark Thompson 15.349 in the 70X as the green is back out. That'll put Miles Dubert on the bubble if looking at this correctly. White flag out for Dalton Bloom. Dalton Bloom, 14.778, goes 8th quick. Dennis Souza to 10th, 15.214. Mark Thompson, 15.349, his best time. That last lap actually better, 15.332, still 11th quick. So it's going to be Dalton Bloom, fastest driver in that group, 8th fastest. Joey Tanner, still P1 with a 14.253. In discount race car parts qualifying, Jesse Williamson 2nd, Rob May 3rd, Preston Luckman 4th, Colin Weinberger the top 5. In the danger zone, Mark Thompson 10th, Dennis Souza 11th. Corey Yak now in 12th is on the bubble for the inversion for the heat races. We've got 6 more cars to qualify, so should be 2 more groups of 3. 77S on the racetrack. Greg Walters, Schramm Brothers Excavating, Northwest Platinum Trucking, Century 3 Stables, Schramm Motorsports, Longhorn out of Banks is going to be out in this group. In the 13, also in a Schramm Motorsports owned entry, Schramm Brothers Excavation, James Gang Pizza, Northwest Platinum Trucking, Longhorn out of Albany, Bryson James. And the 18, the winner here back in 2023, McLean Bedoin in the Patriot Electric, North American Taxidermy, ZZ Electric, Warrior Chassis. Racing for car owner Ray Mitchell, Lebanon's McLean Bedoin. So, Greg Walters, we'll see what he can do in the 77S. the standout late model pilot here in the Pacific Northwest. He is 8th quick right now. Bryson James is currently 2nd with a 14.367. Best time for Greg Walters, 14.655. McLean Bedoin is 7th quick with a 14.625. Walters better on lap 2, 14.503, puts him up into P6. Walters was 6th last night in the feature. And McLean Bedoin making his first main event start of the year, at least according to my records, finished 8th. And Bryson James was running up front till a tough one happened to him, getting together with Preston Luckman, 17th. So Bryson James is 2nd in overall qualifying. Joey Tanner, Bryson James, Jesse Williamson, Rob Maya, Preston Luckman, the top 5. In the danger zone, John David Duffier is 10th, Dalton Bloom 11th, Burke Elkins is 12th. And we've got one final group to come out. It's going to be the 33C, Craig Hansen, who was a +9 last night, getting the James Gang Pizza Hard Charger Award. Virgil Hansen Automotive Machine, Best Pots, Portable Restrooms, A&B Septic. Cody Scholl, Home Team, James Gang Pizza, Hoppus Motorsports, CT Warner, Water to Go, Swartz Chassis. 88 of John Gamble out of Brush Prairie, Washington. J&N Trucking, Wayne Estes with Cornwell Tools, Advanced Metal and Wire. JK Pickle Trucking, Nikki's Paycheck, Wade Hendricks, Live.com, and Ian Whistler back out. He was having transponder issues, and it looks like they have been fixed right now. Ian Whistler 7th quick with a 14.507, last night's runner-up. John Gamble 16th quick with a 15.266. Dalton Bloom is on the bubble. Craig Hansen currently 17th fastest in the 33C. His best lap time 15.521 as of right now. Checkered flag is going to drop. And it is going to be fastest driver in the group, Ian Whistler. His first lap, the best of 3, 14.507 seconds. Joey Tanner, Discount Race Car Parts, quick time. It'll be Bryson James 2nd, Jesse Williamson 3rd, Rob Maya 4th, Preston Luckman 5th, Greg Walters 6th, Ian Whistler 7th, McLean Bedoin 8th, Colin Weinbarger 9th, Rob Campos 10th, John David Duffier finishing 11th, and Dalton Bloom, your top 12, part of the inversion. Burke Elkins 13th. Then 14th, Mark Thompson, Craig Hansen 15th, Dennis Souza 16th, John Gamble 17th, Corey Yak 18th, Miles Dubert 19th, John Dees 20th, Chester Nist 21st, Bob Dees 22nd, Tomas Hunziker 23rd. Cars on the racetrack. Hot laps for Friesen Performance IMC Modifieds. This looks like our drivers. Several of them that are going to be in tonight's D main. You've got the 36 of John Campos out of Scio, 33 Paul Ray representing Eugene, Brandon Hoekstra out of Richfield, Washington, 27H, 15B out of Roseburg, Bennett Bray, 2018 Matt Camprat out of Granite Bay, California, 66 Kevin Pendergrass out of Cottonwood, California. So no split Bs, no split lower mains. It's a D, a C, and a B. Top 4 from the D go to the C. Top 6 from the C to the B. Top 6 from the B to the A. Simple as that. If you get in those positions, you are in. If not, you're on the trailer and fortunately done. Brandon Hoekstra right now, currently fastest in hot laps, 16.589 seconds. Matt Camprat taking over that top spot with a 16.545. Hoekstra second, Bennett Bray third, John Campos fourth, and Paul Ray fifth. And all modifieds going to hot lap except for the 14 locked in from last night. They won't hot lap until, boy, Jason, it'll be a while till after what, the Iron Giant main event. That'll be the first time they take laps at speed.
Yeah, I think the idea there is to give them a surface close to what they're going to be racing on for the feature tonight, shooting for $10,000, giving them an opportunity to set their car up for that feature tonight based off of how that hot lap session goes.
Chris Neiman out of Quincy, California in the 3. First one out. Sean Nattenstead in car number 1 out of Fernley, Nevada. Then you got the 67, Jake Walters representing Banks. 75, Andrew Peckham out of Grass Valley, California. 64, Ray Niffen Jr. from White City. They will also have Justin Tudor out of Grass Valley, California in the 10T. Your defending track champion, the 4J of Kenny Boardman Jr. And green flag is going to come out. Hot laps underway for our next group. Right now, nobody threatening the top spot in hot laps. Just I say that. Kenny Boardman Jr. and Chris Neiman showing some movement. Neiman in car number 3 is P3 in hot laps, 16.590. Boardman is 4th, 16.599. Only 2. Oh, Boardman to the top of the board, 16.454. Neiman goes second quick, 16.529. So, Kenny Boardman Jr., reigning track champion, fastest driver in hot laps, 13 drivers out of, let's see, what's going to be about 38 or so that will be taking time. 16.454. Chris Neiman, also in that last group, 16.529 is second. Matt Kampfrat third. Brandon Hoekstra fourth. Bennett Bray, your top 5. Ready for the next set to roll out. And it will feature the 98 out of Oregon City. That's Dan Scheller. 4Y, Wairika, California's Jimmy Lipke. 25G out of Vacaville, California, Randy Schaefer. 15 JT from Phoenix, Justin McCready. You've got the W5, the SDMF Customs House Car, Jesse Williamson. '97 TB Tyson Blood from Tumwater, Washington. Woodland, Washington's 58 of Devin Reed. 55H from Livermore, California. That's Mickey Hill. And we are set to go green. Jesse Williamson out of Coburg in the W5. And Jason, being told by race officials, if you were locked in, you do have an option to come out to hot lap with everybody.
Yeah, so we'll see some of the drivers that decide to get out here and run a couple of laps. And, of course, we'll bring them back out later on tonight for their final hot lap session.
And he was second in qualifier number 2. Jesse Williamson, as Randy Schaefer getting sideways in turn 4. That'll slow things up just a tick here. We'll try and get everybody back underway. Jesse Williamson, 16.16.7. Tyson Blood, 16.423. That is first and second in hot laps currently right now. For the Friesen Performance IMC Modifies, Jesse Williamson, something to note, was just out there with the i5 Silver Bullet Late Model Series. Justin McCready running 6th, 15.566. But as of right now, only 2 drivers in this group running towards the top of the board. McCready now goes second, so make it 3, 16.279, and Devin Reed into the top 5, 16.478. So it looked like it was, Jason, there was going to be 2 drivers, a part of the top 5. Now it looks like 4 out of the top 5 out of that last group. Williamson lowering the bar to 16.1679, which is a pretty speedy time. And you've got Justin McCready second, 16.279. 16.423 Tyson Blood third. Kenny Boardman Jr. fourth. And Devin Reed 16.478. All with those right around at most a second faster than, 16.478 fifth quick, 15.471 the current track record by Ray Niffen Jr. Shows you how close they are. And that's fifth quick, and it's a little over half a second your quickest time so far off the track record.
Yeah, and as the track continues to come into them here, we could see those times continue to get quicker with our next group of race cars out on the track.
19K out of Antioch, California, Chester Nist. Jeremy Ritchie in the 15J out of Phoenix. 31Z, Zane Miner from Graham, Washington. Ryan McDaniel in the 10RM from Marysville, California. 21A, Albany's Matthew Drager. Brett Provost out of Grants Pass in the 50. And Mark Waggy, car number 1M out of Medford. Right now, just gazing at the board, 6 quick, Zane Miner. That's fastest driver in this group, 16.503 seconds for the 31Z. And yellow flag is out. Brett Provost getting sideways in turn 4. And Zane Miner, only driver in the top 10 that's making waves. Currently P6 right now. And it looks like that'll do it for that group as they go off the track, ready for our next set to come out. We've had 28 drivers, hot lap, 52 signed in yesterday. You take out the 14, that's about 38 if I'm doing my arithmetic correctly, although with the option of locked-in cars can come out, so we expect probably most of those might have a shot. Just get some laps under the belt and just not be sitting around literally all night until almost feature time.
We were talking about that in the pit area with a couple of drivers earlier tonight, how many more laps the guys will get under their belt who have to race through the alphabet soup tonight. So, as you mentioned, great opportunity for these guys to get out here, get a few extra laps, just kind of feel the track out, make sure the car's still feeling good. Any adjustments that need to be made along the way.
So Jeff Lovell, the 40, he's out of Oregon City. He'll be first across the flag stand. Behind him, Ryan Peary, 21P out of Wairika, California. 15P Oakley, California's Andrew Pierce. The B40, Steve Bohr out of Klamath Falls. 51G, Gavin Manning out of Bakersfield, California. The Don Clark owned entry. And Superman, Colin Weinbarger out of Corbett, also part of this group. Weinbarger did get locked in, was fourth in qualifier number 1. And I believe he is the only other driver that we have seen come out of the top 14, of the 14 drivers, I should say, that got locked in through their qualifiers last night. Andrew Pierce up into the top 5, third right now, 16.296. That is the best time so far in this group. And checkered flag drops. Andrew Pierce, the only driver in the top 3. Just as I say that, Ryan Peary goes second fastest in hot lap, 16.268. Andrew Pierce is fourth, 16.296. So Jesse Williamson, Ryan Peary, Justin McCready, Andrew Pierce, Tyson Blood, the top five. Colin Weinbarger is sixth, 16.431, his best time. Kenny Boardman Jr., Devin Reed, Zane Miner, and Randy Schaefer, the rest of the top 10. And should have only a handful of more groups left. Gray Ferrando, the V13. He was third in qualifier number 2. He's a locked-in car. Brian Clark, 51B, representing Bakersfield, California. The Chris Lewis-owned 22LX. That's Clay Daly out of Watsonville, California. Andrew Greiman out of Grants Pass in the 11. Chris Lewis out of Orville, California in the 22. Those are your drivers a part of the... Oh, Troy Folger, who is also... Troy Folger out there in the Bill Bauer zone, number 49, finished third in qualifier number 1. He is out of Oakley, California. And failed to mention it, the V13 Gray Ferrando from Scio, formerly Staten. 16.167 is the best time in hot laps so far. Right now, no movement in even the top 10 in hot laps. We'll keep a close eye on it as the checkered flag is going to fly for this group. Brian Clark, Clay Daly making some late moves towards the front. Clay Daly, 16.18.5, is currently second quick overall. Brian Clark, ninth fastest with a 16.458. So a little movement late in that one from the 51B and the 22LX. And awaiting our next group to roll on the track. I don't think we have too much more, Jason, as I see street stocks in staging, and we've got the Water Buffalo backing up on the track. So it looks like that's going to do it for Hot Laps for the Friesen Performance IMCA Modified. So glad that you're here live in person, or whether tuned in around the world on the live stream. If not, I want to buy that live stream package to catch all the action, lap-to-lap coverage of the Legends of Dirt Modified Shootout. $10,000 to win. That's not just one of the biggest paydays in the Shaw Race Cars Western region, but the whole Speedway Motors IMCA Weekly Racing. We'll have opening ceremonies. It looks like, Jason, coming up here in a couple minutes. We're going to get all the cars on the track for a special opening ceremony.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and kind of looking across the way here up on the Knife River grassy knoll. It's filling in very nicely. We've got a lot of fans sitting up on the hill, and been pretty cloudy so far today. But right when we get to opening ceremonies, that sun decided to peek out. At last check, it was about 77 degrees here at Southern Oregon Speedway, and